Today we're taking a look at ASX listed stock Lepidico Ltd, ticker LPD, performing some technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see Lepidico go in the near future. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another ASX stock analysis video. Today we're taking a look at a company called Lepidico Ltd. Their ASX ticker is LPD. And this is another lithium company, but for once it isn't a lithium mine. Instead, Lepidico, they extract lithium from lithium mica. They make the lithium oxide in that manner. So this is something that is a bit different and it's a bit downstream as opposed to what we typically look at, which is lithium miners or lithium explorers. But the beauty of this company is not only do they want to get involved with the manufacturing and extraction, they want to be completely vertically integrated. So they want to be involved from the mining stage all the way through the supply chain to when we turn those lithium oxide materials into the batteries themselves. So make sure you do check them out if that is something that interests you. But simply all we're doing today is performing some technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see Lepidico go in the near future. So without further ado, let's jump straight into today's video. Welcome into the Lepidico chart, guys. As you can see, this is another company which has certainly benefited off the big lithium run we have seen over the last 12 months. They've gone up significantly in value all the way down here from a low back in March, and that low was basically at half a cent. And now we got to a beautiful high over here on the 11th of November, and that high was a value of 5.3 cents. So quite literally it has 10 times in value if you had managed to get in on the early stages over here. If we zoom out a bit more, you can see they did also become influenced and spike up from the initial lithium run that we had seen back in 2017 and the early stages of 2018 as well. So they've certainly been around and enjoyed, I suppose, the rewards from that, but they haven't hit those all-time high levels that we did see back in the day, and they were sitting at 8.2 cents. So to be fair, not actually too far off in the grand scheme of things. But also something to note, they have now fallen victim, as much of the other markets have, to the crash we have seen on the ASX over the past week or so. So this isn't something that's limited to Lepidico or even the lithium industry itself. This was just a general crash of the ASX, and unfortunately we dropped in value. We got to a low yesterday, and that low was a value of 3.2 cents, but now we're currently sitting at 3.7 cents. So we have managed to make a bit of a recovery. And the first thing that I can see which has formed is a gap. And the gap formed between the 21st and the 24th of January, the two trading days there. So that'd be a Friday and a Monday, I'd expect. And basically the low of the 21st was 4.6 cents and the high of the 24th was at 4.5 cents. So we've got that 0.1 gap. So I'm going to basically put in place a little gap indicator there for us so we can see that this is a major point for us. Now, I'm also going to have a look quickly at where we can see not only a long-term trend, but also some clear support and resistance points. So let's have a look. Starting from over here, I'd expect that an uptrend we have seen put in place right about here from the 21st of July all the way up. We had a bit of a bounce on the 7th of October, and then we have bounced off that once again over the past two trading days. So all in all, looking good. We have managed to hold up that trend even though we did dip below it briefly at this point in time. From a top end perspective, it did look like that we potentially broke a little bit of a trend over here, but unfortunately fell back into it. So I'm really going to just discount that. I don't think it is too relevant moving forward. I'll just extend this one out here as well. There we go. So we need to look at horizontal points of resistance and support as a result of that. Horizontal support, really easy. You can see that we have consistently bounced off this mark, which is the 3.6 mark. So I'm going to put in place a line there to signify that is our key support point at this point in time. We're sitting just above that right now at 3.7 cents. The next marker, in my opinion, that we really have to break through is just about up here. I'm going to plonk that right there, 4.1 cents. As you can see, this has been a major point of resistance for us in the past, and it's been very hard for us to get through it. So overall, this is going to be our key point of resistance and our first target. Now, interestingly enough, what we can see is our 20-day moving average and our 50-day moving average are sitting quite literally exactly where that is, at 4.1 cents each as well. So if we are able to break through that key level of resistance, that will be a major breakout for this stock. So look for that and watch to see if we are able to do it, because that will be a very big indicator. So first and foremost, that is clearly our first target, 4.1 cents. Then our second target is going to be quite clear as well. It's our gap, and I'm going to move up our line here just to signify that our gap is the next target, and it's 4.6 cents. We've got to close that gap out, of course. So let's just chuck that one there just to signify that as well. So basically, target number one right here, target number two right here. Now I expect the price action that we're going to see is a bit of a sideways trend before we do start to move up and hopefully come and test our first target in the next few weeks. Let's have a quick look at a few other things. Volume. As you can see, we weren't immune to a big dump over the past few days. This company has unfortunately had a sell-off, as many others have. It's reflected in the price, but it's also reflected in the volume. Not much we can do about that at this point in time. I wouldn't really take that with, I suppose, any credence. Take it with a grain of salt. It's an overall market panic, nothing to do with the company itself. And in fact, just before that crash, they were performing very well and starting to move in an upwards direction, potentially forming a cup and handle pattern back towards that point of support. But unfortunately, that was not the case. Now, let's have a look at the RSI and after that, the MACD. RSI, as you can see, has dropped from the 20th of Jan, where it was sitting at 67.76, all the way down on the 27th of Jan to 37.26. But because we had a bit of a boost today, we have moved up now to 43.31. But we're still on the lower end of things and plenty of room for us to move upwards. But also still, there would be room for us to continue dropping, although I think given that this has been such a sharp decline, as long as the overall market is holding up, we're going to start moving in an upwards direction. So that should be all right from that perspective. MACD, let's have a look at that one. As you can see, we unfortunately had a cross of our 12-day EMA below the 26-day EMA. Not shocking at all. It's what you expect if you have a market crash, but we have not yet hit our peak. But I do expect that we are about to hit it, or in fact, you know what, today could be the peak, because we did have a green candle today and we closed higher than where we did yesterday at 3.4 cents. So all in all, I think that is going to quickly start to taper off in this direction, and we're going to hopefully see another quick cross of the 12-day EMA above the 26-day EMA in that sort of a fashion. So all in all, looking relatively positive, but just watch for this to see if it is the peak, and of course watch for that cross to occur. So where does that leave us? Well, simply my price target for us is first and foremost 4.1 cents, then of course hit that gap at 4.6 cents. Then if those two are breached, we're off to hopefully reach some 12-month highs. That wraps up our analysis on Lepidico today, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. I'll leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.